I was 4 years old when I learned how to ski. Tethered to a rope attached to an instructor, I took my first strides down a small snowy hill in the Pocono Mountains. Almost all of my childhood memories took place in the Poconos. It wasn't where I lived, but it was where I grew up. We had a small house in the woods. A stream was nestled just behind our house and wove its way through the trees, leading to a small lake. I felt like an explorer, an adventurer. I ran over logs that fell across the river, turned up rocks and looked for salamanders. I dug holes in the hopes of finding treasures, which often were just broken mason jars or old bottles. Every time I was there was something new to discover. We would see different animals and find new trees to climb. I was continuously stimulated by this environment. As my brothers got older, they got more interested in the biology of these natural systems. They could recite facts about frogs and salamanders and the bass that swam through the stream. I felt like there was always something I could learn, and yet no matter how much I tried to absorb the things I was taught, there was always still a little bit of mystery in my understanding of the place. There is a pleasure in the pathless woods. There is a rapture on the lonely shore. There is society where none intrudes by the deep sea and music in its roar. I love not man the less, but nature more. From these our interviews in which I steal from all I may be or have been before, to mingle with the universe and feel what I can never express, yet cannot all conceal. My love of nature never dwindled throughout my childhood. In high school, I took advantage of the opportunities I had to combine my love of exploring and being outside with a desire to help others. I found myself incredibly involved with a service organization called Global Leadership Adventures. I spent 2 weeks in Costa Rica working to build a biogarden to prevent gray water at a local school in the small village of Bahia. I knew the least about environmental issues out of the group. I had no idea what mangroves did for the ecosystem and why their protection mattered. I didn't know how tourism was disrupting sea turtle habitats. A plethora of problems I never knew existed finally breached and flooded over me. We spoke with people in the community, we discussed articles and watched films, and everything led back to these huge problems that all seemed to point a finger at the elite humans plaguing these beautiful places. A spark began with this service trip, which pushed me to take over our school's environmental club and go on 3 more service trips with the organization. These trips exposed me to widespread poverty and refugee issues in the Dominican Republic. They exposed me to sustainable tourism, invasive and endangered species in the Galapagos, and to animal conservation in Thailand. As much work as we accomplished on these trips, I often left feeling slightly disheartened. So much needed to be done to alleviate these problems. What could I do as one person to help historically marginalized groups in overexploited areas? What should I do? Or what should I not do? Who made the world? Who made the swan and the black bear? Who made the grasshopper? This grasshopper, I mean, the one who has flung herself out of the grass, the one who is eating sugar out of my hand, who is moving her jaws back and forth instead of up and down, who is gazing around with her enormous and complicated eyes. Now she lifts her pale forearms and thoroughly washes her face. Now she snaps her wings open and floats away. I don't know exactly what a prayer is. I do know how to pay attention, how to fall down into the grass, how to kneel down in the grass, how to be idle and blessed, how to stroll through the fields, which is what I have been doing all day. Tell me, what else should I have done? Doesn't everything die at last and too soon? Tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Whether our experiences with nature are big or small, ones of fear or admiration, they shape our relationship with the natural world. For those who have had positive experiences, we might often feel so awestruck by the beauty of nature that we cannot imagine ourselves as part of it. So struck by picturesque landscapes, so calm to be in a place that feels quiet and slow and yet so full of life. While this is a powerful moment and can often feel spiritual, it might alienate us from a world we are very much a part of. It fosters a sense of stewardship, of needing to protect and fix nature. It is near impossible to figure out what our role should really be in fixing the environment. Humans are animals, and we build our homes and situate ourselves in habitats and places that are comfortable for us. Yet we never view high-rise apartments in the same way we might view a bird's nest. But why does it matter how we define nature? What do theoretical concepts of nature have to do with our lives, our human lives? All of these weighted questions might feel like a roadblock to progress in combating the human-caused issues plaguing our planet, but the value in them is clear. My narrow definition of nature prevented me from seeing beauty in spaces I regularly interacted with. I could not have possibly imagined after 2 intense backpacking trips that I would end up in New York City. I was passionate about wilderness education and wanted to instruct kids on the same trips I had the privilege of going on, but I realized my elitist view of the natural world was fighting with my passion for social justice and equity. A community garden in the Lower East Side had just as much magic to explore as Yosemite, and I would be able to teach kids about nature who had not been exposed to it in the same way I had. There seems to be no real way of convincing people to care about nature if they don't feel that they have experienced it. These emotional connections, childhood memories, and moments where we feel connected to nature are the reasons so many of us have chosen a field of study that focuses on its protection. By expanding our definition of nature to include every aspect of being outside, by questioning our own role in nature, we invite new voices into the conversation. We invite others to care and to notice. There is no fixing nature. There is no restoring it. Doesn't everything die at last? We should just hold on to moments of connection, peaceful and loud pauses in our days that make us feel a part of this world. Holding on to those experiences, no matter how small or large, might move us towards a relationship of reciprocity and appreciation.
I don't wanna die in the hospital. You gotta take me back outside. I don't wanna hear all these factory sounds, looking like a girl in a sleeping gown. I don't wanna die in the hospital. You gotta take me back outside.